Hello, Orland Park. I'm Dan McMillan, and we're here tonight or today with a very, very, very special guest. We're here with Ramzi Hassan, and we're here for Someone You Ought to Know, Orland Park TV. And folks, let me tell you, this is someone that you want to know, you ought to know, and you're going to see a lot of. He's a young man. We'll get into him. I better introduce him before I just sit here and talk about him. But we're here with a man that you're going to know, see, and come to love. He may be the next mayor of Orland Park. So, Ramzi, how are you? Good to see you tonight.
I'm good.
It is tonight here.
Good
I don't know when it'll be watching.
I'd just like to start off by saying I have no political aspirations.
None whatsoever? Okay.
No.
Okay, so, Mayor McLaughlin, we thank you for the opportunity to be here on TV. He's not the next mayor, but you never know. When you're ready to retire in 20 years, possibly. But you've done so many things in a very short period of time. You're 33 years old, am I correct?
Just turned 34.
You just turned 34, so
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you're feeling it. You're getting out there. Out there. So you turned 34, but in that period of time, you've done some big things in the field of real estate. With and people think that's so easy, and I was talking about that with somebody today. They just think real estate developers just get the big checks. They just put a tenant in, or they develop a building, and that's it. And then they get 4%, and they go on with their way. But you came up in the trenches. So let's talk a little bit about let's take you from, you were born 34 years ago. Where at?
Christ Hospital.
Right over here in Oak Lawn. So that's we can all relate to that. They've got a wonderful children's hospital. We've done some charity. In fact, last year we gave over $10,000. We collected $10,000 in toys, and I filled up two full vans, and we delivered them over to the Advocate Children's Hospital, Christ Children's Hospital.
A great program over there.
Yeah, so they do tremendous work, and so you were born there. You grew up where?
Oak Lawn up until about second grade. Moved to Palos Heights. Lived there until through college, and finally settled in beautiful Orland Park.
Beautiful Orland Park, and we do mean beautiful. But let's clarify. Where did you go to high school?
Shepherd High School.
Shepherd High School. Mm-hmm. That is Alan B. Shepherd High School, for one of the men that walked on the moon. I think he walked on the moon, but I'm not. Did you guys study that? And it was Alan. There's a big astronaut on the side of the building, Alan B. Shepherd. I thought he was part of one of the moonwalks or one of the. He's not Neil Armstrong. No. He didn't say about the one giant leap for mankind, but he was there at a certain point on the moon. If you could think about what it would be like to be there on the moon. But anyway, so you went to Shepherd High School in that's in Palos, I think it is.
Correct. Yeah.
And then went off to school at DePaul University.
Correct.
So you're a blue demon. You studied real estate and
finance with a concentration in real estate.
Finance concentration in real estate. You shined. The professors immediately recognized that you were a future star of the real estate industry, and the word got out. And your dad got a little worried. Your dad, Edward Hassan.
Correct.
And distinguished businessman here in Orland Park. Who did work. Your dad, let's just take one little pause as we get into your distinguished career. Your dad worked at Joe Rizza Ford in 1983, top salesman that year, and he just went, of course he went from there, and he started, he sets a springboard. He started, when did he start Edward Hassan Realty?
Yeah, Edwards Realty. He started in, I believe, 1989.
Yep. Edwards Realty.
Yeah.
1989.
Yeah. Started doing more residential, kind of the typical realtor, and got involved in the commercial business not long after. It's actually a pretty interesting story how he got involved in the business. He bought a convenience store, the business. So he he ran the store, the long hours, built up the business, and basically the business came with a building with a couple apartments on top and 2 stores next to it. Once he was able to build up the business, he sold just the business, retained the building, and started collecting rent, and thought, this is a lot easier than sitting at a store all day, and so he was able to kind of parlay that into a real estate career.
So the business Edward Realty Company started as a convenience store.
I guess,
and then morphed into and blossomed into a force on the south side as a realty company. At this point, you were. And then you were around the family business as you were growing up in high school. Went off to.
Actually, not to interrupt, but I started probably as early as I can remember. 10, 11 years old, hanging out at the buildings with the handyman, fixing things, meeting with tenants, and I would actually work. I always liked to work, so I never liked to sit idle or I was never that into video games or any of that. So I would flip burgers, at one of the tenants that we had. I did oil changes at a Jiffy Lube. So I got a great experience of being able to work every summer at these different places.
No, that's it. So it developed your work ethic.
Yes.
Your dad, there was a method to the madness.
I didn't think so at the time.
No, you didn't. Isn't it amazing how our parents would get so much smarter as we got older?
Yeah.
We saw what they were doing, and so you graduated from DePaul University in 2003.
Correct.
And came in to and continued. You were working already as part of the business while you were going to school. How was it going to school and also being such an integral part of the business? It was great. Where I didn't really think I wanted to do real estate. I wanted to be more on the finance side, maybe an investment banker. So I always kind of kept in touch with what was going on in the family business. But really, when you go through college, as you're in your junior year, you're really trying to, what am I gonna, what do I want to be? When I grow up now, you got to make decisions. So I'm still trying to figure that out myself, but that's another.
So I moved back home my last year of college and went to night classes and really started working full time. I felt that I could be an asset to the organization, and so that's what happened. So
you saw that as your calling at that point.
Yes.
You said this is something that the respect you had for your dad, and you saw that this is what he's building up, and I think I can become part of this, and we can together take that to the next level.
Correct.
So you started that. You were there before you even graduated in 2003. You graduated in 2003. Your dad put you through the paces. He worked you hard, and then you became a partner at the firm.
Correct.
So you and him are partners at Edward Realty.
Correct.
So have you pushed him yet to, when do you think it'll be Edward Ramzi Realty?
No.
I'm just kidding. But so you come into the business, and you and your father are part of it. What's the dynamic? What have you find? It's been 14 years or 13 or 14 years that you've been working together, doing this. What has evolved in the dynamic of you and him working together?
Well, as with any family business, there's always interesting dynamics. So there's, he traditionally has been more conservative on some investments, some deals where I'd be more aggressive and really gung ho about things. But he's been through the different economic cycles. So I came out of college in 2003, and everything was on the up and up.
Boom.
You could buy that at this. You can sell it here. These tenants
leverage
are looking.
This.
Yeah, money through banks and debt was readily available, and we would ask for, let's say a 70% loan to value, and the banker would say, "Why do you only need 70%? I can do 85%." So in my mind, I said, "Hey, let's take what they're offering we can get," and he kind of said, let's relax, let's not get in over our skis, and
that's a good term.
It was really a learning experience when the recession did hit, and we were not to say we weren't affected, because we have a lot of tenants, and a lot of them were mom and pop tenants, and they were affected. I mean, everyone was affected, but we were still positioned where we were able to weather the storm and still, be able to kind of come out unscathed and in a decent position to continue to grow when the economy warranted.
So your dad, like I said, how parents get smart as you get older, then you really saw how smart your dad was at that point.
Yeah.
Because I know a number of them that ended up having real estate developers that were riding high and then did not plan for that downturn, and they ended up declaring bankruptcy.
Well, and being a young guy in the business, I mean, we were always kind of like a two-man shop. We'd have, a couple part-time people here and there, but I would get jealous of, friends of mine or colleagues that, had a staff of, 20, 30. They're doing these, hundreds of millions of developments, and then you kind of see all that come crumbling down.
Yeah.
And so I really did appreciate, staying kind of lean and mean and living within our means, with the projects we were doing and the things we were taking on.
No, that's the key. And so you weathered the storm. Mm-hmm. You came, and now you've come out of it stronger than ever. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about one of your properties. Did you guys own Orland Crossings?
Yep, Orland Park Crossing.
Orland Park Crossings. Did you guys build that, or did you acquire it?
We acquired it. And this is typically now what we've evolved into, are more distressed asset investors. So we acquired Orland Park Crossing, a portion of it out of foreclosure, and then the other two portions out of foreclosure. Then we acquired the remainder from the original developer, which was still somewhat involved in parts of the project. But there were a lot of, unfortunately, that's a great development. So what we always look for is obviously location with real estate, the fundamentals, what the building looks like, what the business plan for that particular asset is. And here you had, amazing fundamentals where, high-end construction, newer construction, less than 10 years old. You had all the infrastructure was in place. There were tenants that were struggling. There were vacancies, and this was in my community. It was in Orland Park, in my backyard. So I felt like we would be able to. We didn't exactly know what a year from now would look like, or 2 years in the economy, but I knew that we could make something work somehow, somewhere.
There was potential. Was there? What year was that?
This was in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, after you had come out of the recession, so to speak, and then you had, and then you saw that as a potential going forward.
Right, but unfortunately, some of the tenants in there at Orland Park Crossing are lean towards the higher end of the spectrum, and a lot of those guys never fully, recovered because people's buying habits and patterns changed when the recession hit. People kind of got smarter. The savings rate was at the highest it's ever been, so people weren't spending money like they used to. So it was adapting to that environment as well. But love the real estate, love the community, and just knew we can do something with it.
So you're doing a lot with it. I saw that you did which we missed out on, and we have to get in there this next one, because I tried to, but it was too late. Mm-hmm. Was the car show? You guys did a car show over there. How did that turn out?
That was great. We partnered with the Bratcher family, who owns a lot of the Midas stores in the area. They started Spirit of America in their small parking lot. I believe the year before it was at Orland Square Mall, and I saw the program, and it was all for charity, and drive-in movie, classic cars, food, and I knew I wanted to take that and be a part of it and kind of bring it to our center and expand on it, and that's what we did. Now we had over 130 classic cars registered there. We were able to give the Orland Township Food Pantry a large sum of money. I think it doubled last year, so I think it was $6,000 to $7,000, along with other donations. And it, we had food, we had live music, we had activities for the kids. The fire truck came by, and the amount of cars and the people it was just a great environment to be around.
So we'll have that again. That was in
In September.
September. So we'll look for that in September of 2016. So, folks, put that on your calendar. You'll end up seeing something about it next year. But it's great. It's at the Orland Crossings. So the Orland Crossings is it's even though it's been around for a while, you guys got it now in 2013. It's almost like it's in its infancy, and it's gonna become just a magnet of shopping, I think, in the town, because now you've got the Marianos right there. So you're going to have the traffic that's going to be in that area. You've got University of Chicago putting up a medical facility right across the street.
So now it looks like what a great investment.
Yeah.
But back then,
Back then, you were taking a risk.
It was risk, and we had to believe. I mean, you mentioned before how many people, parts, organizations, departments are involved in a development.
Yes.
We had to believe in the Orland Park downtown coming to fruition.
Yeah.
So, we believed in that area. We believed in the mayor's vision for Orland Park, and we thought long term this is going to be a great downtown atmosphere. Orland Park is already the hub of the southwest suburbs for retail and from all around. And when we were doing our due diligence on the property, we realized people are traveling from Northwest Indiana, from Moni, New Lenox, Homer Glen, Frankfort, Mokina, so and farther. And it's Palos, Oak Lawn. So it was really trying to see what those shoppers, what those customers needed, what they wanted, and how we can let them know, what we have. So the other thing we would get is we're not the typical shopping center where you can see every store from the street. You got a big marquee sign with every tenant on there. It was built to be a lifestyle center. With the lush landscaping, fountains, higher end construction, very walkable. So you typically don't need to park right in front of the store you're going in. It should be a more of an experience. So that's what we're trying to create now. There were several hurdles or several reasons why it wasn't successful up until this point. And LaGrange Road construction was a major factor, and that was a major factor in, I think, in 2005 and 6, and it's still a factor now. But the end is in sight, so
it is. And I think when that is done, and up and down LaGrange Road, I think that's going to put a whole new reflection on Orland Park, and it's just going to keep blossoming and blossoming. And like I said, with the triangle, so-called triangle across the street, with 9750 done and thriving, and University of Chicago, and then there'll be other stores and shops or restaurants in that area, and then up and down the street, it'll just keep thriving and developing, and you'll look like a genius. Like the genius that you are.
I don't know that far, but we do share the vision of the board, the village board, and the mayor. We want the north end of Orland Park, the downtown, to really be the specialty retail, food, entertainment district, because we already have the typical retail. We have a great mall, Orland Square Mall. We have all the big box retailers up and down the street. Yep. Now this is also an alternative. We're not necessarily competing, with our neighbors, but we're offering an alternative.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lifestyle center.
Yeah.
So 143rd, it's one of your jewels. What else have you developed, or you're in the process of developing? Give us a little idea of what you're doing in the community.
I mean, we've done projects in downtown LaGrange. We, redeveloped 2 city blocks. The town of LaGrange. We've done projects in Palos Heights. The new Jewel redevelopment at 127th and Harlem. We were very instrumental in putting together, and we still own the outlots in front of there, Dunkin' Donuts, Jiffy Lube. We've done projects in smaller retail projects in Oak Lawn. We just finished a Ross Dress for Less store in Plainfield. We're working on a couple other developments in Orland Park. Some are in the works, can't really talk about, but we also own the Horton Center, where we moved our offices into the office building over there. which we're doing a re-facade project on now. And, Cafe Gaston is there. They've been a staple in the community.
They've done very well. It's one of our favorite restaurants.
Yeah, it's my daughter's favorite restaurant. She's 5 years old. Yep.
Now, so you're doing a lot of things in Orland. You're going to continue to prosper here in Orland, but you can't just stick. Is a thriving company. You've got to, like you said, you're in Plainfield, out there, LaGrange, and you're doing many different things. What now that you're all of 34, turned 34? Let's get a little better idea. We're getting to know Ramzi. What do you see at this point in your stage of life is your major accomplishment? What's the accomplishment you look at and you say, that's it?
Well, I would have to say my major accomplishment is being a good husband and father. First off, but I guess if it's business wise. We've been known to do things that I guess a lot of people either didn't believe in or didn't want to do or thought was too hard or too risky, and we've been able to be successful at those things. So when you're investing in distressed assets, and when you're looking at properties in 2008 and 2009 where banks don't want to lend you money, and people say that you'll never rent that, or we tend to go against the grain. So I guess that would be the accomplishment I'm most proud of, when we went ahead, stuck to our guns, even though you have 10 people here saying it'll never work. You have bankers over here. You have other real estate brokers, or telling you this is a bad idea. This is not a good investment. It's not the right time. And really sticking with our principles. And it all boils down to hard work. We get very involved in the projects we do. We don't take on 10 projects at one time. We like to do 1, 2, 3 projects at a time where we can stay hands-on and be very involved.
Well, that's the key. So you survived, and you've come out stronger than ever here, and you're gonna continue on into 2020, and you'll keep building and building and building. Let's talk a little bit about Ramzi. You just touched upon it. You feel being a husband, father. Let's talk about Ramzi, the family man. How many children? Let's talk about your the children, and do you see them being astronauts someday?
No.
No, but we talked a little bit about, you have 2 children.
Yes, Violet is 5 years old and Guinevere is 18 months old.
Yeah, which I did say, but Guinevere's just a beautiful name. You don't hear it that often, so that's a very very nice name. And like you said, you sometimes you do very original things and you stick to your guns, and that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. Now, your wife, she really is the brains behind the operation. There's no doubt about it, because she's the one we talked about. I was doing a little research beforehand, and when I did the research, just trying to find out about the man, the myth, the legend, Ramzi Hassan. And what does everyone do when they research these days? You Google. All you do is you go to Google, you put in the name, and so when I researched, the first 3 things that came up were you, not the boxer, but you. And so she is optimized. So your wife, Kristen, she works in the technology field. Give us an idea about what she does and what she's doing here in Orland Park.
Yeah, she does social. She has a company called Calamus. She does social media marketing, web development. She'll put together digital strategies for. She primarily works with small businesses, so it's a lot of the businesses in the suburbs that need to have some type of presence online. And when everything now is moving online. Shopping, when you do research, you're not going to the library as much anymore. No. You're doing a lot of those things. So you want to give yourself a competitive advantage. So if you're the pizza place, you want people to be able to find you at the top of the search engine. Maybe you want to be able to order, online, things like that. Yeah. So she'll go and help, create the logos, do the websites, get, whether it be the one, man operation, insurance agent, or, larger companies. So she's been doing a lot of work lately within our community, which is a great idea and great company that a lot of cities and municipalities, villages have partnered with to promote their local businesses, and it's similar to like a trader magazine, but it's online. So you sign up, you get emails, you click on certain things, you get points, you redeem those points for discounts. So it's a way to stay involved. You get news from there, you get other updates. So she's been doing work with them and their businesses that they're bringing on.
So that in our community. So, and I think probably a lot of people out there have seen it and used it. But it's how would they sign up for something like in our community?
Yeah, they just go to I believe it's inourcommunity.com and then go to Orland Park.
Yeah.
They have several communities there, and they just type in their email address, a few little bits of information, and they get, I think, one email a week, I believe, is what. So they don't like to inundate the.
But it gets you involved. It gets you a little more exposure to the village. So we're here in the fall. As we're talking about you as the family man that you are, and that you're in. We're going to be coming up to Christmas time. You're going to enjoy. Your kids looking forward to Christmas?
Oh yeah.
They'll be ready.
They're ready.
And so, but Christmas, you want to balance it out. You want to enjoy it with the family and the community and family and friends. But what is Christmas and owning a shopping center? How do you have to approach it from a business standpoint, and they always talk about, Christmas has become, so commercialized. Well, of course it is. And that's why, and that's how we thrive. The world's become commercialized.
Right.
So talk a little bit about what your plans are, as far as helping the holiday festivities over here at the crossings.
Yeah, so we're big fans of being part of the community and bringing them into the shopping center. So the goal with doing some of these events, like we do have a Holly Trolley event and Santa will be at our shopping center Sunday, December 13th, and we do these things to really promote and not only our stores, which we partner with them to get involved and things like that, but it's just when you have fun at the shopping center, we know necessarily sales don't spike every store that day, but maybe you come in there and say, I didn't know that Biology Boutique just opened there. I didn't know Mary Lou's Fine Jewelry is coming, opening in January. The Brass Tap, I heard of them, but I didn't know that they were right here. And look at the progress in Mariano. So you get someone to the shopping center and they're able to see what's going on, feel it, and you hope that they come back. But the idea behind it, it's not necessarily a lucrative money-making venture for us, but when we like to do these events because kids like to enjoy Santa Claus and the we always give out whether it be hot chocolate or cookies and coupons and things like that because it is the holidays. You want to feel good, and that's what you do.
So it's fun. You can enjoy it, because I enjoy a lot of parts of the holiday, but it's also great to help the businesses, and that's like you said, it's not necessarily spike there, but long-term effect. You're getting more people. You're getting more people out there. So, and if you need, I know a good Santa. If you need Santa to come out and help out, so that's all I'm saying. I do. I'll explain more of that afterwards, and we'll talk about that with Santa. But anyway, let's talk about you. As we touched a little bit on you growing up, and you grew up and you went to Shepherd High School. Give us an idea about some of your heroes. I know it's an overused term, possibly, but some of the heroes you looked up to and that kind of helped mold you or form you as you grew up.
No, that's a good question. I mean, being in junior high in the 90s and high school, I mean, I was a big Michael Jordan fan.
Yeah.
I mean, the greatest basketball player of all time, and his work ethic and how he, you always hear the story of how he didn't make his high school team and things like that, and just really put that work ethic to achieve that type of success. I mean, but I guess I got a lot of heroes. I mean, my dad is my mentor, my hero growing up.
Yeah.
Being a veteran and coming from where he came from with nothing and building something. That is the American dream. And he was able to take advantage of the opportunities this country provided him, and so that's he's definitely a hero. And this is tough. Someone like maybe Ronald Reagan, not necessarily all political, but the ability to communicate and bring people together and things like that. I mean, I really respect those kinds of people.
Yeah. So somebody like Ronald Reagan was there. So now, growing up, that was you had certain heroes. Today, now that you've grown into the fine young man that you are, who do you admire today in business? Is there someone out there that you look up to?
I mean, I'm pretty fond of Sam Zell and the things he's done.
Well, I thought of that when you talked about that you're looking at distressed properties, and he's known as what do they call him? Grave dancer. Yeah.
So it was funny when Cranes came out and did an article on distressed asset investing, and they called me a vulture, vulture investor, and the only two people they used in the quotes were mine and then Sam Zell. So I thought, okay, if I'm mentioned in the same article as him, I'm I'm going in the right direction. Warren Buffett on what he's been able to accomplish. There are a lot of smaller developers that don't get the notoriety of Sam Zell and what Donald Trump's been able to do in New York and that. I mean, it's pretty incredible. I would say those guys.
No, those are three good ones between Sam Zell and Donald Trump and Warren Buffett. It is amazing. Trump. Sometimes you forget the businessman that he really is because he tries to, he's trying to be an entertainer at times, but he's very resilient. I mean, he's come back. You talk about being down and then coming back. He's done it.
Well, that's when you peel back all the layers of the bravado and the whatever he says, you look at the deals he's done and what he's been able to accomplish. Where if it's that Woolman ice rink in New York that two or three people failed to do, and he was able to come in and do it, and how he's done it, and it all goes back to the work ethic. I mean, he works day and night.
How about Celebrity Apprentice? Who else could have come up with that and made that interesting?
That's right.
I miss it already, and he's not on it anymore. My God, I can't.
Definitely entertaining though.
Yeah. So those are some of the people that you admire. And let's talk about you as some of the things your likes or dislikes, but some of your favorite restaurants. They don't necessarily have to be right here, but some of the favorite restaurants that you might like these days.
Yeah.
And so having two young children, it has to almost skew towards the children because I know how it was when my kids were young, and you end up, you're not going to a lot of 5-star restaurants. Because you have to go to restaurants that have children's menus.
Exactly. A kiddie favorite that we like to go to. I think we mentioned before Cafe Gaston.
Yeah, Cafe Gaston, which is one of our favorites. We've done a show with them.
And I think the kids just like it because they could pick the desserts from the behind the glass.
Oh,
the cupcakes and everything.
Good point.
Red Robin in town. With the kids, but Cooper's Hawk is great.
Cooper's Hawk's always very good.
But, the wife and I like that restaurant very much. Granite City.
Granite City
is a good spot. I mean, there's a lot of good places right around.
They're right here. They're right here, and they've got them all. So we'll keep.
We're very fortunate. You don't have to. There's not only one place. Some towns you go to, and it's like, where's the place to eat? Well, this is the place.
The place.
We have a lot of places.
No, we got a huge variety. We got a huge variety. So we'll keep visiting. Now, is Granite City part of the?
Yeah, they're part of the Orland Park crossing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they do very well. I do. And I like Justin over there. No, Jason. No, it's Jason. Yeah, we did a show with Jason. Got to have him. But he was a Taste of Orland. And we did a nice thing with him over there. But it was very good.
And that's that's another great thing that being part of this village, they do all those kinds of things, like the Taste of Orland. They have events that really bring the community together and allow the businesses to participate. Yes. And we get feedback from that where there'll be some residents, or now it's not just Orland Park residents that go to these events like Taste of Orland, but they'll say, I didn't know that P.F. Chang's was in town or here or something, but I saw them at the Taste of Orland, or I saw Granite City, or when the Brass Tap first opened, it was great exposure for them.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the. That was great exposure when the mayor did the trolley.
Oh, on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. They came by. Mm-hmm. And then how do you see the development of the art fair? Because you guys been hosting that for a number of years now.
Great. The community art fair, which is held in conjunction with the Orland Park Area Chamber of Commerce, has grown every year. So now there's 50 artists that showcase everything from canvas paintings to homemade jewelry, photography. It's a great collaboration of artists from all over the Midwest. I mean, there's people coming in from all over for this. So we like to build on things every year. So I'm new to this type of marketing, and we're always trying innovative ways to reach out to people and do things. So this year we brought live music, so we had a string quartet played during the day, keep it classy, and don't upset any of the artists with any rock music or anything until the art fair ends. So it was like a half an hour before it ended. We have a rock band play, so it's kind of almost like an after party. And then we brought in food vendors and and other activities for the kids to really be able to spend a couple hours there and not just feel like you're walking around, seeing a couple of booths. And you want to stay able to hang out and feel comfortable.
It's the experience. And, I have some experience in art. The painting on the wall over there, the one that says with the shoes, I painted it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. That's what they were doing. And we did a show with an art class there's a I'm not sure what it's an
art a la carte.
Art a la carte. Very nice. It's a great place out in it's out on Wolf.
Okay.
And I did it. I sat in on a class and we painted that. And I never thought I would have painted, but I actually did paint that. I'm not saying I don't know why I painted shoes. I don't know why we're doing shoes, but maybe I could enter that in the art fair.
You could
next.
You
see
could.
if we can get some bidding going on that one. We'll get that going. So let's just ask a little bit about. You talked about at the car show, the movies. And so let's say, they do a movie thing there. So give us an idea about you and your favorite movies.
Well, I like to laugh.
Yeah.
Any of the comedies, whether it be like Step Brothers or Wedding Crashers.
Oh, no, those are fine ones.
Those types of movies.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah. I would say, one of my favorite movies is probably Dumb and Dumber. This is, So you got to go to different ends of the spectrum. When you're, serious and, during the day, this is, the time to relax, laugh, and have a good time.
That's it.
Now I watch a lot of children's movies.
I was going to say, you're going to see a lot of Disney movies for the next number of years.
I know all the Disney movies.
Yeah, I love Beauty and the Beast. I can quote it. We watched it. I probably watched it 182 times over the course of 3 years. But and of course, my favorite was 101 Dalmatians.
Oh yeah,
so, I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh yeah. My daughter's obsessed with that one too. Yeah, and my little girls were Minions for Halloween.
Oh yeah,
passed, so that's an entertaining movie.
Yes,
so
the Minions.
I don't know how they can keep coming up with these things for the kids. Frozen? My God,
that was big.
It still is big. It's crazy. The longevity of something.
That franchise will keep going.
And stuff I used to really, like Aladdin, and those, this transcends now.
I know.
Like generations. So
it does. I remember Aladdin was one of my favorites. Aladdin on Ice. I still remember going to that with the kids. The ice shows.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sum it all up. I ask you a strange question, but here we are in 2015. You just turned 34.
Mm-hmm.
Your greatest years are ahead of you, but you've done some great things so far, and you've got the real foundation laid. But today, if you were going to put together a time capsule to bury it, so it wasn't going to be, and then be dug up in 50 years to see Ramzi Hassan, the man, what would you put in that time capsule?
Well, first I'd probably put some Twinkies because those never,
Yes.
right? They never go bad. So when someone
Twinkies
opens
and
it, they get right in Coke. So you get a little snack. I would probably put, I always like to have certain objectives or, life goals and things like that. They change as, years go on, but I would like to have a list of what my goals were when I turned 40, when I turned 50. You have these things you kind of have in your head, but to put it down on paper, put it in a time capsule, and someone to be able to look back and say, oh, you accomplished that, or that was interesting, something like that. Maybe some old love letters that I wrote my wife a long time ago before everything was only emailed and text messages.
Yes.
Keepsakes from my kids. The little drawings and stuff that they do, and I guess you could put like these. Now everything is with the phones, videos and things like that. So maybe certain little snippets or videos of the kids or how we interacted together, and then I guess some things that are prevalent in today, like. Sort of like favorite like newspaper stories, or, things like that to see how things have really progressed and changed. I think just something to remember this time period in my life, how I'm feeling. So the notes, journal type things. I think that's
the one thing that would be interesting, but to see how much it would change. Like you said, leaving like a DVD or this or some type of where you said hello, they could play it.
Yeah.
But you wonder what will they be playing in 50 years? Because if you go back 50 years, you're going back. You can't even play a VHS tape.
No.
So in what format can we leave it? So that's what we'll work on, and then. I want to thank you for being here today. I really do. You're someone that everyone should know in Orland Park. You and your father, Edward, have done a tremendous job of being part of the community. And we want to mention the fact that you've done it. We talked a little bit about it beforehand with the charities. Some of the charities that you guys have really been behind. What was it? You want to list out a few?
Like Greater Chicago Food Depository. We've helped renovate some of their buildings in underprivileged communities. Together We Cope. It's a great organization that helps families in need from the area. The Orland Township Food Depository. Sertoma. There's too many.
There are, and I think I just wanted you to get to the point with our audience that it's no matter how successful you are, never forget where you came from, and always help to help those in need. I mean, you can't save the world, but you can sure keep trying.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's the hope of everyone. You want to leave the world in a better place than you came, right?
Yeah, and leave a time capsule that means something.
Exactly.
That's what we'll do. So, what you've done, what you're going to do, and you're going to thrive for the next, 50, 80 years. Actually, you'll probably live to be over 100 because modern technology or medicine is going to keep going and going and going.
And now, I guess in the next however many years that I really appreciate now working on more meaningful developments and projects and really working with the community and the municipalities, and that's the give and take and the communication is really we really like that back and forth with,
you love the interaction and you love being part of the community. It's great to have an investment, and you have to have a return on investment. That's why you do it. And we all have to support our families. You have to do that. But to feel like you made a difference is what is really, at the end of the day, what is so gratifying.
And you want to have fun, doing what you do. Right now, I'm having a pretty good time.
You're having fun, and you keep coming back to do it. And you've got, I will say, last year we saw you at Cafe Gastano, earlier this year. And you had that classic car. What was that?
1968 Impala SS convertible.
So you're a man who appreciates the roots, who appreciates history. That's good. That's good. So that sums it all up. A man that appreciates the finer things in life, but the history, and he understands what it is to help give back to the community. So Ramzi Hassan, I'm going to ask you the final question is what everyone gets the final question. You may be too young to answer this question, but Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Okay, so he's not too young. He's right there. He knows. See, I told you, he appreciates history. If he's driving, if he's got a 1968 classic, that's when the Beatles were cranking back in the '68. So you can play the Beatles driving the convertible around. Okay, so you heard it here, folks. Beatles. So for Ramzi Hassan, I'm Dan McMillan. For Someone You Ought to Know here on Orland Park TV, where we want to thank Mayor Dan McLaughlin and the trustees for allowing us and having us on the airwaves here in beautiful Orland Park. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Thanks, Ramzi.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.